Hey yo, what it do, YouTube? Back with another video. Welcome to High Vibrational Kings. This is a channel for people that want to better themselves in life. Shout out to anybody holding on to their energy, breaking bad addictions, and trying to become a better version of themselves. Alright guys, so in this video, I want to talk about how semen retention helped me break a 3-year soul tie. Woo! I'm gonna go in on this one, yo. Get your popcorn ready. It's about to get lit. All right, guys. It's kind of cold, so yeah, man. I made a video about how what are soul ties and how to break them and all these things like that. So in this video, I want to talk about how semen retention finally set me free from a toxic 3-year soul tie. So like I mentioned in that video, soul ties aren't always created like sexually, right? They could also be created just from spending a lot of time with somebody. So that's basically what happened to me, guys. 3 years ago, I met like a person and things like that. And it was just like this guy. And, during this time, I was like into like, drinking a lot and just like partying and things like that, guys. I wasn't really, I was still on that fat bean bullshit, still on the hub, wasn't really on this self-improvement journey. Didn't know anything about retention, obviously. So yeah, 3 years ago, I was just, I met somebody and we started hanging out a lot. We just started like hanging out, like going to like parties and just spending like a lot of time together, going like on adventures and trips like that. And the thing is that the relationship, or not the relation, the friendship started off like basically it all revolved around like alcohol and just like adventurous shit, like kind of like going places, right? But it always revolved around like alcohol and partying and just like having a good time, right? So the thing with that, it was just like it was fun, but it was always like, I don't know how to explain it, man. It's just like it felt like every time I would like hang out with this person, it was just like very draining, It was very draining, and I felt like I couldn't advance in life, right? I felt like I was like stuck. Like as long as I was hanging out with like so in the course of 3 years, guys, I was hanging out with this person like on and off. And the thing about this person is that they were like very like sensitive, They're kind of like very emotional. So it felt like I had to like walk on like eggshells for a lot of the time. And even though it was like fun, I always, I couldn't be like sober around them for some reason. It felt like I could not be sober around this person. Like every time we would come together, it felt like we had to get fucked up, like we had to like drink in order to like hang out, because when I was just like sober around him, I just felt like, I couldn't like be like myself. And like I said, that they were like very like feminine and just like sensitive. So me as like kind of like a empath, like I was trying to not like say certain things, or it was just like very it's weird, man. Like if like you ever be around like somebody and it feels like you can't say like certain things, so you're kind of just like holding yourself back from like kind of like being yourself. That's kind of how it felt like, man. And like I told you like in videos before where I've said that I never felt like masculine. I always felt like something like was missing within me. This friendship was actually making that worse. Like it felt like I was being emasculated just like by hanging out with this like sensitive, like feminine person, because I was like holding back like my like masculine energy so I wouldn't like offend them, because they would get like easily triggered on like things like, you know, they would like get easily triggered. So guys, like for the past like 3 years, like it would be always like we would hang out, have like a good time, you know, drink and whatever, trips, but they always got like offended or like something would happen, guys. Like it was like a vicious cycle, guys. It was just like a good time, and then all of a sudden it'd be like an argument. We wouldn't talk for like a long ass time. They would go back, and then it was just on and off like that. It was just like a cycle of just, hold on, it was just like a good, there's like a thing on my phone. Yeah, so it was just like a good time, you know, just chilling, vibing. But it was like a fake ass like reality that I was kind of living in. It was just like, it, like I said, it all revolved around like alcohol. It felt like I couldn't be like masculine around this person. So let's get into why semen retention helped me break free from this. So, you know, the last time that this person, you know, like we got like into an argument, you know, we would go like months kind of like without talking, and we'd go back to talking again. And then one of the times that they stopped talking to me, they just like randomly like ghosted me for like 8 months. So I was just like, all right, whatever, you know. And then during this time, I was like, I started like waking up. I started knowing about, you know, the hub, and like I didn't know about semen retention really, but it just came automatic with quitting the hub. So this whole time that like this person was gone, I just, oh, that's another thing that I want to mention, guys. Every time this person left, I always felt more at peace, right? Like, yeah, things may have not been as turned up, right? Because like I said, like every time I was with this person, it was like a blast, you know, it was a blast. We would drink, we would go on trips, we would do all kinds of crazy things, right? It was fun. But like it was exhausting. Like I was always drained, guys. I didn't really have like, how do you say, like I didn't really have that internal peace. But every time they stayed away for a while, I just started feeling like more motivated to like start working out again. I felt more like started feeling like more you know, that inner peace. Like even though my life wasn't as like, you know, turning up and all this thing, I felt like my soul was more at rest when I was just away from this person. And I started to like, you know, want to better my life and things like that. So the period where they basically like left for like 8 months was the time that I was like kind of like, you know, still drinking a lot, you know, still like on the hub. But that's the time that I started like waking up to that. And I started learning about like, you know, the hub, and automatically that came with retention. And then all of a sudden, at the same time I practiced retention, I like stopped drinking alcohol, right? So I started like improving my life, you know. I started like getting that momentum that I had been building up for myself, because for the longest time, in the past like 3 years, I was always like partying and shit like that with like this person. So I didn't really like get a chance to kind of sit with myself and reflect on my life, because I was always like distracted. I was always you know, in the daze. But every time this person stayed away, I just felt like more at peace. I started getting the motivation. So what happened, guys, is during that time that they were gone, I started like learning more about like myself. I started feeling more powerful. I found out about retention. And then of course, as soon as I practiced retention, Jezebel came into my life, and then you know, drained all my energy, and then just left. And then like literally like a month or two later, when I started getting that momentum back, is when this person, the one that left, they decided to come back, you know, after disappearing for 8 months. And then, Like I was starting like build muscle in the gym. I started feeling more happier and all these things. But they reached out to me 8 months later, and they explained all this, whatever, and things like that. And I ended up hanging out with them again. And as soon as I started going back to that, guys, like it was just like such a low vibration. Like I was, how do you say, like as soon as I started going back to that, guys, I started doing the same shit that I had been liberated from. As soon as I went back to this person, I started like instantly starting to drink again. I started to, not be on semen retention again. Just by default, because I wasn't putting myself first. I was just like, just that turning up and things like that. So as soon as I went back to this person, I just started like to lose myself again. And with that just came like, a lot, like I wasn't focused anymore. I didn't feel like that inner peace anymore. But in return, I was just like, having fun, right? Just feeding the flesh, as you would call it, but not being like spiritually rich, just wasting all my spiritual currency. Because that's what it felt like, guys. It felt like I was trading my energy for physical things, like drinking and partying and trips and food and like all these things that came with like hanging around this person. I felt like I was trading my energy for things of this world, right? And with that, it just made me feel like emptiness. And yeah, man, it was just like my soul was suffering. I felt like I was like stuck in this friendship, right? But yeah, like after those 8 months, like as soon as I discovered retention, guys, like it wasn't the same anymore. Like even though I went back to like that friendship, I had like a new lens, I had a new perspective on everything. So things weren't the same anymore. And when I started practicing retention, I started developing more masculine traits. The thing that was missing in the past, I started to discover it. You know how I said that I felt like something was always missing? That masculine energy, that's what was missing. And being around this person that was very feminine and sensitive, it felt like I couldn't be masculine. I felt like, how I said that, I felt like I was emasculated by being around this person. So by being away from that, I started and discovering retention and not drinking alcohol and doing all these things, not watching the hub, I started becoming more powerful from within. Retention was making me more powerful. And so when they reached out, me having like an open heart, I just, started hanging out with them again. And then just things started like, going back to shit, right? Just going back to, I was basically like going backwards at this point. I was losing progress. I was just going backwards instead of moving forward and evolving. Okay. So I was doing that. And then, but like I said, I had this new perspective. I was on retention. And with that made me more masculine. So if I wasn't masculine as I was before, going back to this person with this new energy, like it just stirred up their demons even more. Like it just made them even more like sensitive, or it just made them more offended by everything, right? Like just by me, I literally made a video on this, guys. I'll put the link in the description, where it's called semen retention, people will be offended. That's what it was, guys. I started being like more in my masculine frame, and this person that would get easily offended by everything, they got offended for like the dumbest reason, guys. And so that went back and forth like from like a couple months. It went back to that cycle of just hanging out and then not talking and then hanging out. But this time it was much shorter. Now that I had this new perspective on life and being on retention and being more masculine, I had a new awareness now. So I didn't feel as stuck in the friendship anymore. I was just like, I had the power now. And so as I was retaining, guys, I wasn't putting up with like I didn't give a shit anymore, guys. I didn't care about the alcohol and the free like the trips and the partying and all those things, because I had like a new awareness. So all those things didn't matter. Like what started to matter more was the power within, the spiritual currents, holding on to my energy and being more productive instead of hanging out with like this person that was just like holding me back, even though they were like, I'm not trying to make them sound that they're like evil or anything, but they were literally like holding me back, like from, evolving. For the past 3 years, I felt like they were like holding me back. And I didn't even know my power, but until like last year when I discovered retention, I was like, wow, I just started feeling so much better. And so when I went back to that, like nothing was the same anymore. That friendship wasn't the same anymore. So now I had like the power to walk away. And so one of the last times that I hung out with them, I had been retaining for a long ass time. I was retaining for a long ass time, and then I did something, and they said something like that, and then I just kind of like I responded, but I guess the way that I responded, they took offense to it. Cause like I was like I'm telling you guys, like I was just you become more masculine, so you'll be offending weaker men. These men that are like not masculine, that they're just very emotional and sensitive, they'll get triggered easily. So if you're on retention, you're very bold, you're very assertive, you're very like, straight up. So that's what happened, guys. Like I was no longer the same person anymore. I was more in my masculine energy. I was more, assertive, more powerful within. So with that came like that. Like it was like I could no longer hang out with this person, guys. Like, no way. And so what happened, guys, is that they got offended about something. And then from that, it was like the soul tie, it was like becoming weaker and weaker over time. It was like on a thread, right? And then that last encounter that happened, it was just like, it just snapped it. It just like, I was like done. I was like free already, we ended up going to like this, so the last time that we hung out, we were on this like, I was like an hour away from my house, right? And we were just like chilling like by this pool and things like that. And then he got like triggered over something. He went back to like the hotel or the room that we were at, and then he got all pissed off, and all this drama, all this unnecessary negative energy. And I'm just like, what the heck, like. And it was just like, it's spiritual, guys. Everything is spiritual, you know. These low vibrational entities will use weaker vessels to attack you, man, straight up. So that's basically what happened, guys. This person was like a weaker vessel by default. So, it felt like they were like attacking me, like spiritually. So what ended up happening was, I felt like I needed to get the hell out of there, bro. So I literally, I called like a lift, and I just got out of there as quick as possible, instantly blocked them. And as soon as I did that, guys, I felt like freedom, I felt free. Like I felt like on the ride back, I was just talking to the Uber driver, just vibing. The moon was out, and I just felt like a sense of freedom. Like I blocked them, and then because the problem back then, guys, is that we would get into arguments, and we would always go back and forth with each other because he would like always like reach out, or I would reach out or something like that. It was like that unhealthy like connection. Like the soul tie, like I said, it's basically like energetically, it's just like an energetic connection that you created with somebody through like crazy fun experiences or just things like that. It doesn't have to be like like if you're like intimate or something. It could also just be from like a friendship, right? So it was different this time, because this time I wasn't trying to go back to that at all. Like I said, it was just like there was no way. So I just blocked them, and It's been like 5 months since then, and I'm never going back, guys. I'm never going back. Woo! I feel happy, man. Like it's sad. Like it's kind of sad sometimes because like I'm not trying to make this person sound like evil, but I had like good times, just like adventurous share, just turning up. But guys, I was killing myself slowly by hanging out with this person. I was just like I said, I was trading in my spiritual currency for things of this world. So I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel fulfilled. But like seeing retention, like literally, like saved my life when it comes to or seeing retention kind of like helped me break this unhealthy soul tie, because like I said, every time I stayed away from this person, even if I was by myself, guys, I felt more calm. I felt more peaceful. I felt more like alive, man, like that authentic happiness, not like that fake happiness that you're just like, yeah, I'm drunk, like that's fake, It's fun, but it's fake. But the internal happiness that you feel is from going within, retaining your energy and just working out and just being healthy and raising your vibration naturally like that. That's when you feel more alive. So, like when I blocked this person, I just felt like a a relief. I just felt like a huge weight like lifted off my shoulders, and it just made me feel more excited for the future. Like, cause for the longest time, because I told you, like when I met this person, I was into like drinking. I was on the hub, and so I was just like, I was very reckless with like my energy. But now that I like moved forward and I'm never planning on going back, this is my affirmation. I'm never going back. Yeah, man, I just feel like a lot more better, and I feel like a lot more excited to meet like new people like in my life, people that are on a similar vibration as me. Because guys, you can't let these people hold you back from becoming like a better version of yourself. Like, you can't let your emotions and memories get in the way. So retention, guys, can literally help you break unhealthy like soul ties. Even if you don't call it soul ties, like friendships, toxic like relationships, it could literally help because you're no longer putting your focus and your energy on that person. Retention naturally builds up energy within yourself. And if you focus that energy within yourself more internally, say working out, meditating, things in that nature, you're just gonna feel like so much better, guys. You're just gonna feel more alive. You're gonna feel like free, man. I just feel like free, and I'm looking forward to how life is gonna be in the future, because I'm not planning on going back. No, no, sir, I'm not going back. Woo! Let's get it. Let's go, man. Retain gang. Maintain your frame. I know I said that backwards, but I don't give a damn, man. I'm hyped up, bro. I'm hyped up, man. So yeah, if you're, it's worth it, man. Like, walk away and never look back, man. This is an investment for your future. This is literally an investment for your soul and your spiritual wealth and your health and your mentality, and everything is just so much better, guys. Like, I feel so much more better, man. Like, I feel like, I don't know, man. Like I said, like I feel like this person was like an agent. I swear, like I felt like they were like sent to me to like hold me back from, becoming a fuller version of myself. Because as soon as they disappear, all of a sudden I feel more spiritually connected. I feel more better overall. I discovered retention. I stopped drinking alcohol. I stopped watching the hub. I start doing all these things as soon as this person disappears, because I start having more of a clear mind and I could think more clearly. I don't have the brain fog anymore. So that's how it felt like, the whole time I was with that person, I had just like brain fog. So I felt like I was like stuck in that friendship. I couldn't move. I felt stagnant. I felt emasculated. So by getting rid of this person, I just feel like spiritually free, man. I just feel like alive. And I just feel like God has removed this person and helped me remove this person out of my life, because now I see it for what it is. It's just my energy was just getting drained. This person was a damn energy vampire. They were always involved in drama, and even if it was like just by them speaking dramatically is just draining. So that's why I feel like I couldn't be sober around this person, because they would always be like, being not negative necessarily, but just dramatic and sensitive. So I would feel like I just had to get drunk as fuck in order to kind of like blind myself. And then just like, when I was drunk, I was just like, just turning up. The vibe was more in tune with that person. Like, when we'll just be drinking, it would just be more of a good time. But when it was like sober, it was just like I couldn't, I don't know, man. It was just like an uncomfortable vibe. But yeah, man, retention like helped me get rid of that soul tie. And like I feel a lot more better. Like my soul feels a lot more lighter. Uh, the whole time I spent away from this person is when I started making like banger videos, consistent videos on all these different topics. Is I had all these downloads now. I didn't have brain fog anymore. I had more wisdom. I had more knowledge. So just me speaking right now, I just feel like I'm in that flow state energy. I don't feel like, I just feel good, man. I just feel good within, and I'm just sharing it with you guys. I've been wanting to make this video for a long ass time, and I guess today is the day that I make it. So yeah, man, semen retention helped me break free from a 3-year soul tie, and it could help you too. So you just got to put yourself first, and just stay away from these people. Protect your energy, man. I swear that's very important. Protect your energy out here, because your energy is your spiritual currency. So it's like, if you're always drained out here of your energy, you're not gonna be like fulfilled within. So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna end the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.